Hello everybody and welcome to our first tutorial for CIS 1001 Intro to Computers. This one is for Word Chapter 1 Grader for the Kite. This is for PC and Mac. And let's get started. We're going to bring up the actual assignment, the capstone grader. You will see four major steps. Step 1, we're going to just download the materials. I'm going to show that in a minute. Step 2, you can preview the steps. Step 3 is when you are actually done with the homework assignment, you will file by choosing this button. And then the last thing is submit for grading once your file has been. Okay, now we're going to download the materials. We're going to download all the materials in this video. Instead of downloading each one separately, I'm going to download all the files. They will go immediately to your folder that's called Downloads. I'm going to bring that folder up now so you can see that all of those documents are in there. I want you to look. There's a lot going on my screen. I get it. When you look over to the left-hand side, you'll notice it says Downloads. I'm going to click on that, and look what I have here. All of the things that I've asked for is right here. I'm going to print off the instructions like I had said that it's important in class. I've always say that it's really important to print off the set of instructions. Here they are. So I'm going to print them off, and then for this video, they'll be off to my side. I'll read them step by step. I want you to also follow along with the actual instructions. I want you to see what I am saying so that the next assignment that comes along, you can do this on your own. So let's do the first thing it's asking. Let's take a look at step 1. This is EXP 22 underscore word underscore chapter 1 cumulative. Kite is the name of the project that we're working on. It's called the grader or the capstone. Number one thing is step 1. We're going to start Word, and then we're going to download the file. This is the XP22. This is the one that you want to look for in your downloads file. So let's go take a look at that now. I'm going over to my downloads file, and that's a folder at the bottom of your page typically, or you can open up your systems and you'll be able to see folders. I'm going to bring it all in and look for my downloads. I'm going to make it big enough so we can all see it. I want you to look to the left-hand side and take a look where it says Documents, and under that is Downloads. We're going to double-click on Downloads. Again, here's all the information. I already have the instructions, so now I'm going to go use that XP22 cumulative. And here it is. So we did it. We opened up Word, and we were able to bring in this document. That finishes the first question. We're now going to move on to the next one. Now we're on step 2. Step 2 says display a non-printing character. Display non-printing characters. Part of the simulator talked about this. I'm going into the Home tab, and I'm moving all the way over to this button right here, where you can see it says the non-printing character, and we'll leave it up. You see these little marks are there now. We have completed that mini task. Now it says insert text from the info doc in the blank paragraph. But when we look at the second part of number 2, let's take a look at that. It says insert the text. It's called info doc. Remember, you downloaded 5 different files in your download file. So we're going to do that in the blank paragraph at the top of the last column of the page, and remove the 2 blank paragraphs after the inserted text in the last column on page 1. It says a lot. Let's take a look at what it means. I'm going to the last column, and I'm going to insert up to the object. Text from file. From the text side, I'm going to find that info. Double click on that. It automatically inserts it. And there's 2 spaces right here. And I'm going to delete delete, and I have completed that section right there. Now we're going under view. This is the third question. So have your question out, your step-by-step out. We're going to multiple pages under view. After that, we're going to move over to the home tab in just a minute, but I'm going to highlight the top part that says Kite Flyers, and then I'm going over to that home page, the home tab. Click on that. Here we go. So it's asking for a style. I'm going to go for the exact style that it says, a very specific title style. That's the title style. After which we move over to center this Kite Flyers, and then over and bold it. So those are the things that we do. Always rewind and fast forward if you need it. The last thing we do is go to 100% under view. That completes number 3. Moving on to number 4, insert a hard return after the title Kite Flyer. So here is after the title, I'm going to hit enter, which is a hard return. Enter. It brings a line down. The next thing we're going to do is it tells us to write in the word join us with an exclamation point. I did that, and now I'm going to highlight it because it also tells us to change the font size of the subtitle to 20. So I'm going to go to home, I'm going to go to my font, I'm going to go to 20, and I wrote join us, and it's 20. Done with number 4. Question number 5, or step number 5, we're going to create a new style. Okay, I want you to look at the styles right here where my cursor is. New styles using text in the body paragraph, the first body paragraph. Begin with go fly me. So this is the paragraph they're talking about right here. Okay, this is the paragraph. I'm highlighting it. We're going to create a new style, so let's take a look at how do we do it. We could either click down here or we could open it up and see the whole thing and scroll down. But let's just do the easiest, which is we're going to create a new style, create a style, and what does it ask us to do is call it a name. Oops, hit the wrong button. I'm calling it a name. I'm calling it body paragraph. Okay, that is there now, and it's this style. Hit the OK. We just finished that one part of that, but it also says we have to apply this body paragraph style to all other paragraphs in the document. We just can't do the heading, and we are not going to do the last 2 lines that give contact information. So let's highlight everything except for the contact information. Okay? Oh, I got to go a little further, so I apologize. I'm going to go all the way over to here and highlight everything. And I'm going to choose body paragraph. See the style? It's under style. See how it changed? Click on it. There it is. Click my style away for a second. Get rid of that. So we just finished number 5. We're going to move on to number 6. Number 6, it says insert a blank paragraph before the second to last line in the document containing the word contact. Here it is. So I believe it says, we'll do it again, before. So click on that beforehand, and we're going to insert a blank document. We're simply going to hit the contact right before the contact and hit enter. We just created a new blank paragraph, and now we'll move on to number 7. Number 7, we're going to select all body paragraphs. So that's all of them, including the last 2 lines, it says. So it needs us to have that all highlighted, and we have to move ourselves from the multiple columns you see here. And we're going to go into the layout and change the columns from all of those to 2. And ensure that all follow the lines displayed between the columns. That looks good. That's number 7. We just finished creating 2 columns. Moving on to number 8. So for number 8, this is quite simple for what it's asking. It's not too bad. We're going to go into the design side of things. It's asking us to change the theme. And I want you to notice that it's under design and the theme that they're asking for. And if you hover, it means hover, use your arrow and just sit still on those words. It tells you the name. So they're asking for slice. So we want to create a theme called slice. We just did it. Then it also says we want to look for the color. We want to make the color of the theme to red. Let's take a look. Where's our red? There it is. Hit red. If you don't see the red in there, as asked, it will be in your download file. It's one of those documents you downloaded. However, the majority of you should be able to find that red theme and make that happen. So that's number 8. We're done there. Number 9, we're going to do an informal document that usually is a flyer that has some type of border on it. So if you read with me, it says add a box page border. Okay, box page border. So there's going to be under our design. And the page border is all the way to the right hand side in Microsoft Word. I'm going to hit page border. It gives us a variety of things that we can select. And one of those things is the third line down. 1, 2, 3. And that's the dashed. After we do the dash, it says we have to choose a color. So we're going to go into a color, and it says it's accent 2, which is row 1. Here's row 1, and I count 1, and it's 6 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does it say orange accent 2? It does. I click it. Now, underneath it says line. The line weight. And we're going to change that. Change that to the 1 point. And it says make sure that it's apply the page border to the whole document. The whole document. Hit OK. We've just finished number 9. We're going to move on. Number 10, replace all occurrences of kite high flyers with just high flyers. There will be 3 replacements made. So how do we do that? I'm going to do a CTRL control find. And I'm going to type in, kite high flyers. Make sure I spelled all that right. Oh, no, I did it wrong. IERS. Kite high flyers. Notice there's 3 results. And now we're going to replace those 3 with, very specifically, HIGH, high flyers. And I'm doing a replace all 3, which will be 3. All done. We made 3 replacements. Then I close it, and I've completed number 10. Number 11, this is where I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up and try to find the word controller. So it reads like this. Identify a synonym for the word controller in the first body paragraph. Ensure that you are replacing controller, not controllers, with a S. The synonym you select should begin with the letter M. Replace the word in that paragraph. So CTRL control F to find, I put in controller, and it says there's 2 right here, and we're only going to do this one, just like it says only controller. So I'm going to highlight controller, and on my right mouse, I can hit synonyms. And it says find it with an M. Look at that. Controller, synonym, and it starts with an M. Manager. I'm going to replace it. So I just did this for number 11. I am now done and moving on. This may be the easier of the steps. Number 12 is check the word count. Okay, here we go. If the number of words is greater than 700, remove the entire third body paragraph, beginning with the high flyers. However, make the change only if the word count exceeds 700. So where are the word counts? Let's take a look down here. Bottom left-hand side of the screen. For those that are not able to see it on my screen, it says 694. That means I don't need to make any changes. So number 12 is done. We're moving on. We're moving on to the number 13. Number 13 is select a proofreading group in Word options and select readability. So that is under File. Go into the File. Under File, you look for Options. And now we're going under the proofing group. And we're looking for show readability. Scroll down with your eyes and you'll see scroll readability stats. Hit that. Hit OK. That part's done. Now we're going to check the document for spelling and grammatical errors. I'm going to do that and see what we have. All right. So this is, if you right click, you notice it should say the pilot. You fix that. I want you to know that you're only replacing words that have an issue, that are not spelled correctly, and are not hyphenated. This is Quest. I'm hitting that one. I've completed that. It says all hyphenated words are correct, and we also want to ignore this thing called hadziki, and that's up here. You can ignore that issue. Don't fix it. Don't correct that. That's all set. The last thing, it says the number of sentences, something that we will use later. We have to remember the number of sentences for this very next number 14. In number 14, we're going to modify the document properties to include Mason Gibson as the author. That's going to be under File. Whenever you have these things, the modify properties or options, we go into File. Properties are on the right-hand side. You can see all of that. You can even do advanced properties. But right now, for this, we have to look for the author. And we're going to update this to include the name Mason Gibbons as the author, replacing any existing author. So I guess I just should really just replace that. I'm going to copy it and remove that person. Now we have Mason Gibson right there. Gibson's. We're finishing up on this last part by by clicking on the comments box under File, and that's right here. I'm going to click on comments box, and I'm going to put in the number of sentences. Now here's the issue. There's really not a number of sentences, but rather a number of lines. This is why this could be confusing, and I'm glad I'm doing this for you. The number of lines. Do I know that number? Well, let's go back for a second. Look at the bottom of the bottom where you see 694 words. It shows lines. And I'm going to do 101. Folks, if you get this wrong, don't worry about it. I'll give you the extra points on it. Lines. 101. You're going into File. Going back to Comments. And I'm going to write 101. And if you get it wrong, I will be okay with that because it doesn't have sentences. We just finished that. We're going over to number 14. We have reached the end. Number 15 says we're going to save and close. And this is the part where I need you all to know where you're saving your document to. It's important. All right, so let's go under File, take a look. Mine is under the download, so I'm saving it under downloads. Okay, and I know that I finished at I finished at 322. I know that. So it's saved. Now just make sure you hit it again. Just hit save. It's saved. I am all set. I will be able to upload that. I'm going to click away of all my screens, and now my last thing is to upload. I'm going back to the Pearson grader, and I'm going to choose, for number 3, I'm choosing my file that I just did. I'm going into downloads where I know I stored it. And I looked at my time frame. It was around 322. So I'm clicking on this. I'm going to hit open. Now I'm ready for upload. Success. And then I go and I choose my submit for grading, and then it will give me a final grade. This is what you do for each grader. They will become a little bit easier over time. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you all the best.